From day one, I was just a crazy kid. And I was the type of person, if you told me to not do something, I would do it. I struggled just with life and always pushing the limits, and everything was the same way with God. And especially in middle school is when I got into drugs, and to where it turned into addiction. Pretty soon, grades dropping, family drama all the time. I'm Brady Guista, and this is my story. The ocean was one good thing in my life that I always sought, but even that didn't fulfill me. I would love to dive and spearfish and surf and just be on the water. So my junior year of high school, my life was just a mess. I was barely at home, and relationship with folks was just horrible, and addiction was pretty heavy, and living in a house with friends where we were growing and selling, and even it got one of my younger sisters into drugs, and so my life was just a mess, felt so dead and empty. There's a ministry called Young Life, and some of the volunteer leaders just met me and my group of friends right where we were at and loved us, and we were all characters, and they would just love us, take us beach, take us out to eat, and one day they're just like, oh, we'd love for you to come to a Young Life camp with us. And I was at the place where I was so sick of my life. I was like, man, if this is all there is to life, it's not worth living. I was at the place where I was ready to take my life. That's where my head was at. And so because they talked my friends into going, they said, we really want you to come with us. I said, okay. My friends were going because there were some fine girls that were going. I was going because I wanted to give this Jesus guy one more chance, see if he was for real. And so this is the first time I'd been sober in a long time, long time. And they were doing all kinds of fun activities, and I had become so hard-hearted. I hadn't cried in years, just was to myself, and they were doing all kinds of activities, but I was just chilling on the side, watching everyone. And the third day at camp, I hiked to the top of this mountain, beautiful up in Northern California near Tahoe, Sierra Mountains, and coming from the city and the beach, seeing these huge mountains and big trees. And so I don't even think it was on the property of the camp, but I climbed to the top of this mountain, and I climbed about 150 feet up in this big tree. And so I'm up in this tree, I'm standing on a branch about 150 feet up in this tree, and I'm ready to jump out of the tree and end my life. And I was just cussing at God. I told God, I'm giving you 5 minutes and I'm jumping out of this tree. So I sit back down on this branch just all pissed off, and I was really serious. I was, okay, God, 5 minutes. And no more than a couple minutes later, all these birds started coming up the valley towards the tree I was in, about 20 little birds. And after a few minutes, they all came and sat in a couple branches right above my head. And I was like, oh, looking at these guys just cruising around, flying, singing. I was like, man, I wish I had happiness like these guys. And right when I was thinking that, it was like, God, I didn't even know it was his voice at the time, but spoke to my heart, like, open the Bible. And okay. And so I took the backpack off and just zipped them like that, and took the Bible out and cracked them. And I looked down and read this verse, Matthew 6:26. Look at the birds of the air. Neither reap or stow away in barns, and your heavenly Father takes care of them, and how much more is he gonna take care of you? And right when I read that, it was just like, man, I felt like the warmest, the best feeling inside. Just broke down crying, and man, I was crying so hard. I was trying not to fall out of the tree, like holding on and shaking, and I was like, okay, God, you want this messed up life? Here it is. And my life, the last 20 years has just been incredible adventure and journey from, God's taken me all over the world to be able to share Christ, and mostly through relationships. So worked for over 10 years, inner city of San Diego, mostly gang members and drug addicts, and live and worked with street gangs in Ciudad Juarez in Mexico, and we've been called to Hawaii, Oahu, the last 7 years, and it's just been an amazing adventure being able to love and serve our people here. What we do is I take kids out of the city, and just a lot of our kids, even in San Diego, only live in, 6, 7, 8 miles from the beach, had never been to the ocean. Would teach them how to swim and surf, and it was so fun. And we ended up just having a ton of fun. And through the ministry I work with, Young Life, it was just an avenue, because it's relationship based. So surfing was just a vehicle to be able to share Christ and build relationships. And so it was so fun, both in San Diego and in the last 7 years here locally, to be able to share Christ through the vehicle of surfing, yeah.